Lemurian quartz, also known as Lemurian seed crystals. It is a legendary piece in any crystal healer's collection. It was actually one of the first crystals I got when I started this journey. I dreamt about this stone, and 2 days later I found it in a crystal shop in central Ohio. I know working with this crystal helped me become a healer. The energy of this quartz is about unity and equality. These stones provide a multidimensional and universal connection between us all. Working with a Lemurian, you begin to understand that we are just a tiny part of a universal consciousness. We are but energy beings having a physical experience. Let's take a look at the history and the stone's origin to get a better understanding. The first Lemurian crystals were discovered in the Minas Gerais region of Brazil, an area mined for quartz crystals. These particular crystals were special. They were found on a hill of a quartz mine, and they were sitting on the surface completely independent of any matrix. They were also in a different formation than any other quartz crystals in the area, and some even had a red to pink hue. Katrina Raphael, the legendary crystal author, channeled that these crystals were planted in the earth during the last days of the Lemurian civilization, a very ancient, very advanced society that lived on the continent Mu, that sank in the ocean and predated the civilization of Atlantis. These beings were very spiritually advanced, and they understood energy healing techniques and programmed them into the stones. They then seeded these stones around the world and grew new crystals. The crystals contained advanced healing knowledge and connected the user to these ascended beings. The original publication with her channelings is widely available online if you want to dig deeper. Lemurian crystals are connected to all similar crystals on the planet. They create a synchronization with the earth itself and a greater dimension in your consciousness. You realize the history of humanity that you've been told is very limited, and there is a consciousness far beyond what humans can perceive. On another level, Lemurian teaches you that love is the binding force of the universe, and with our attunement to it, we can evolve more profoundly than we ever thought possible. It helps you to understand energy, how energy works, and the relationship between quartz and the human energy field. This is particularly important for energy healers and those working on self-healing through the mind. So how do you identify a Lemurian, and how do you use it? So first off, identifying quartz is a skill within itself. And while I can't teach you that here, I can guide you through the basics of identifying a Lemurian. A Lemurian is a type of laser wand. A typical quartz crystal has 6 well-defined sides. However, with a Lemurian, there are 3 sides at the top and there are 6 sides at the base. These sides have deep, pronounced horizontal ridges. This anatomy connects you to the Lemurian energy. Also, the faces of a Lemurian are very small, and when you look at the crystal head-on, it is generally a triangular shape. From a geology standpoint, the Lemurian technically grows in a shape or habit called the muso habit. However, it's important to understand the evolution of what kinds of crystals are now considered Lemurian. In the first video, we talked about Lemurian quartz being found on a hill in a specific mine in the Diamantina area of Brazil. These original crystals were called Lemurian seed crystals, and while crystals of this formation are still mined in the area, these original seed crystals are long gone and only exist in private collections. It is here where the term Lemurian quartz came to evolve. Quartz is still being mined and sold as Lemurians from the Lemurian mine. However, this quartz does not always contain the original muso formation of the seed crystals. In addition, the muso formation was first discovered from the Muso Emerald Mine in Colombia in the 60s. These are often called Colombian Lemurians and are excellent for channeling and are much clearer than their Brazilian counterparts. So where does that leave us, and how do you know that the quartz you have is a Lemurian? Well, there are several features that are critical to qualify it as a Lemurian. First and most important, the ridges on the side of the crystals. You want a quartz that has deep ridges that you can hear when you run your fingernail over them. Many quartz have ridges, as you can see from this laser wand from Brazil, but compared to the Lemurian, they are not pronounced. The ridges are critical because they are one of the central ways to access the historical records that the Lemurian people programmed into them. Repeatedly running your finger or fingernail down the side ridges of the crystal during meditation gives you the easiest access. You could also meditate with one of the ridge sides on your third eye. Another feature that is desirable but not critical is that the termination forms a triangle. You can also find other types of Lemurians. For example, this is a polished Lemurian from the original Lemurian mine. This is a very smoky style Lemurian, and this is related to the Colombian Lemurians. As you can see, it doesn't necessarily fit the shape, but it has the lovely ridges on it. It is important to remember that while the original Brazilian Lemurian seed crystals are amazing, your crystal does not need to be from exactly this space and time. These type of crystals grow all over the world in varied formations and are just as powerful in their own way and often share the same vibration. It has even been suggested that they grow on specific ley lines that are connected all across the planet. The most important thing is that you enjoy your Lemurian and you get as much out of it as you possibly can.